How to do hairspray chipping. It's pretty easy really. First of all, blast on a coat of whatever colour it is you want to see showing through. So say it's a German tank, you're going to pick a dark reddy brown colour because that's the primers colours they used. This one I've got a Tamiya SAS World War II Jeep, so I'm putting like a dark grey, well a darkish grey on it. That way when that comes through you'll see what looks slightly metally, and then I'll use a graphite pencil just to highlight more of it to make it look more like it's steel. As you can see, blasting the cut on the barrels here, but I will move on to the main kit itself in a second. There we go, and as you can see, put it on. Nice thin coat, don't have to be everywhere, just in areas where you're actually going to chip it, like the corners of bonnet, the wings, and the grab handles, that kind of thing. I'll speed this up for you and catch you up in a minute. This is Tresemme number 4 Stronghold, I believe, hairspray. I stole it off my daughter. You only need a little bit, she'll never know it's gone. So what I tend to do is decant it directly into the actual airbrush, so that into the cup of it, so I can just directly spray it on, not messing about with other little bottles or anything. You want thin coats, dries really quick, about 5 seconds. As you can see, just blast it around all the corners, all the edges where you think you're going to want this coloured paint to show through. So I'll speed this up so you can watch it a bit quicker. The paints I'm going to use for spraying the main top coat, this is the coat that's going to get brushed off. I'll be using XF60 dark yellow and XF88 dark yellow 2. I'll also be thinning it with Tamiya's X20. I've already got a small amount mixed up ready to go of the first colour, the slightly darker one, and in she goes. I use these little trays, the cheap brilliant little trays for mixing your painting before you put it in. I have found if I don't mix some paints before I put it into the actual airbrush, I can get clogs in it. So I'd like to make sure the paintbrush is the paint's well mixed up before it even goes into airbrush. Right, you'll see here I'm just going to paint the kit as if I were painting it normal. First off, you'll see me painting this base coat of the darker yellow, and then I will move on to paint some highlights with the next one, the XF88, and then after that I will add a bit of white paint, tamiya flat white. You can just see actually to the right there. I will put that into the actual airbrush itself, bubble it up a bit and then spray that on. But again, I'll speed it up for you so you're not sat just waiting. Right, now for the bit we're here for, the chipping. Right, what I'll do, you'll see my bigger brush, I've wet the actual surface down with it. Let it soak into paint for 30 seconds, a minute at most. And then what you can do then is start and work on it. I've got a small brush there. This is my big brush where I'll put it in and it helps get some areas, but mostly it's a wet brush, that one. But what I'll use my small one to start and chip away at it, because I've got the bristles cut right down on that. It's an old brush, it's ready for bin, so if I use that one first it tends to get it going, and then I'll use my bigger one sometimes just to help a bit more water, get the edges off a bit more. Here I go back again, you can see I'm just going at the top of this piece and I'll work down like so. And when you see it at the end, you'll see how it takes the edgings off, any raised details that will probably get caught more. There you go. Right, bit more water to help soften it up a bit more. You've got to be careful with this with water, because if you end up flooding it out too much sometimes, you can end up taking too much paint. But remember, it's all put backable. Even if you stuff all of this up, you can just blast it again if you wanted to put another coat over it. You couldn't do the chipping technique as well because you'd be baking paint super thick, but as you can see there, got some nice detail coming through from where it's rubbed off. So I'll go to now the wings, fenders, whatever you want to call them, and to the bonnet or hood. In UK it's a bonnet, and get a bit of water on there, and now it's started to soak in a bit. There you go. And I use a bit of tissue underneath here just to help grab the excess water that comes off, because it does. If not, my mat ends up absolutely wet through. I'm constantly mopping it up, so if I use tissue like that, it helps capture it. As you can see, it's just taking away that little bit of detail, from, giving that little bit of detail, sorry, at the edges by taking that bit of paint away. Right, I'll blast up to the end with a bit of speed on it, and I'll see you then. Just look at the final, what it looks like. Right, there you go. As you can see, it's got a lot of nice little bits of detail showing all around. You can add some more just with your normal brush that you would normally do for chipping and that for weathering after, but you've got a bulk of it done now. Quick, easy. The drums I think look really well. The or canisters, fuel canisters, whatever you want to call them, jerry cans. But yeah, looks good, and I'll show you some detailed photos in a second. But thanks for watching. I hope this was quick and easy for you, and it gave you a bit of an idea into how you can quickly blast away the paint that you've done and get fast weathering details. There you go. Looks pretty good. And cheers. Catch you again next time.